Hey there YouTubers, my name's Mr. Drew P and I'm here to introduce you to my latest invention, the most efficient one-chunk gold farm machine ever made by me, Mr. Drew P.
Give me your sacrifice! Lovely gold.
Now before we dive into the gold mine that is this machine, let me tell you a little bit about how it works. This machine is built with 4 portals on the top level, a kill and collection chamber in the middle, and 4 portals on the bottom. If you use this design in your world, please give my channel some love. The farm works by constantly forcing another portal to break and relight. The portals are 16 blocks wide, 23 blocks high, with 3 blocks of space between them, minus 1 block in one of the corners for the observers to go through. Next to the portal, 2 rows are filled in, leaving 1 block of space for the piglins to fall. Piglins will always spawn on the east or the south side of the portal, depending on which orientation you've built your farm. And you can find out which way is east by placing a sunflower. The portals get lit by this lava. It has a trapdoor next to it and some air blocks above it. So these observers all tick on and off, updating the lava, causing the fire to spread. You've got to have fire spread on to make this work. But it's a very cheap way to light the portals. The row of observers that goes under the corner of all the portals carries the signal up underneath the lava, but also gets carried into this piston here, which activates this observer next to a dispenser. And then we break the portal with this snow block. So the dispenser, constantly placing the snow block, has a comparator coming out the side with 2 blocks of redstone dust into a repeater, and we want that signal going back into the dispenser through this AND gate. And on the other side of the AND gate we've got another observer with a torch in the back lighting that up. So when we turn the machine off, we know the dispenser is going to dispense the snow. I put the redstone clock with the on-off machine in this middle level at the back of the trident killer. So when we're standing next to the trident killer, which has to have a wall too thick, if it's only 1 thick, the pigs will start to glitch through. And here we have a piston into the redstone clock. We turn it on by moving the redstone block out the way, and now this clock ticks. These observers take the signal up to the top and down to the bottom, but this repeater also takes it into the trident killer. So this is our power switch. There's our redstone clock. All the repeaters need to be on 2 ticks. And once it's on, we can turn it off with this piston. That redstone block turns on this redstone dust permanently, which stops the signal on its infinite loop. We move it away and it can turn back on again. And then we take the signal out of that switch, which we mount up the side of the trident killer into the powered rail. So when we turn it on, that powered rail activates, but that starts this infinite loop around the top. And each time those powered rail lights up, that observer sees it, powering the observer below it, powering that block, which is powering the pistons. So we've just got 4 pistons above 4 blocks of mud. And because the mud is not quite a full block, these hoppers can then pull any items that sit above it into the chests below. The mud blocks allow the hoppers to pick things up through the floor. If you've got any other full blocks, the hoppers can't pick things up through there. And then from the chests below, we send the item into an item elevator. And the item elevator is basically just 1 dropper, comparator coming out with a repeater, redstone dust looping back into the comparator, powering the block with the redstone torch. And any items that go through that get forced into a solid block. But when that happens, they just keep rising. This is a great item elevator. That way, any item that we put in it gets sent up through the solid blocks, and we can collect it and send it through our item sorter. I think this sorter was designed by Impulse SV. It's great. Put an item in that you want to sort in the hopper, and a filler item that isn't going to get sent through the system in the other spaces like a placeholder to stop anything else going through. And it must be stackable to 64. And it's a good idea to rename it in an anvil so it's unique. And it won't be something that just randomly falls through the system. The hopper below gets locked until 42 or more items enter the above hopper and a comparator gets a reading that's strong enough to go around this tileable loop and back into the hopper below to unlock it, allowing you to filter out whatever you want. And you can filter out whatever you need as long as it stats to 64 in this system. I mean, it's tileable, it's genius! Any item that we want to collect gets sorted and all the other items get sent into the pit of lava. My lava pit does collect a few items around the edges. Most of them go into the lava, but I quite like having a few items just sitting around. It just makes it look nice. You don't have to do that. You can make them completely disappear. It's up to you. Just make the lava pit a bit bigger. Or just simply put one lava bucket in front of the dispenser if you don't want any of this nonsense. You don't have to. This is just for aesthetics purposes, really. The most important bit is the item sorter, which sorts these items, because this is what we want to farm. You see that llama? He's going into the trident killer. Ah, silly wandering trader. So the problem with this farm, anything can go through it. So that's why I've got this system at the end to dispose of any items. Because if you've just got the gold swords going into a smelting system, it will get blocked up by the leads and the leather and anything else that falls through the system. So you want to get rid of that. Just like that. You could have an LA picking up the items that come out the end of your sorting system and then dropping the gold swords through a note block into a smelting system. But I kind of felt that the note block was a bit annoying. And you've got to fuel the furnace. And the amount of gold nuggets that came out of the smelter was very, very small compared to the amount of gold nuggets that the actual farm produces. So why bother? It was just a headache. And I quite like the look of the disposal system.
Daddy had an emerald mine, but I like gold. Lovely, lovely gold.
This whole thing is contained within one chunk. So you can dig it into a hole or you can have it sitting on top of the ground. But you need to build these walls around the water collection area. Or if you dig it into the ground, you don't need to worry about that. This doesn't have to be glass. You can make it out of whatever blocks you want. It's taken me a while to build this because there's been many iterations trying to make it as compact and efficient as possible. Sometimes there'll be a little traffic jam of piglins here, but if you put a turtle egg here in the corner of the chunk with 3 air blocks above it, all these pigmen see it and pathfind towards it. But I did notice that if this farm runs for a long time, there is the possibility that a traffic jam of pigmen can push one of them through and it will break the turtle egg, so you have to keep an eye on that. It doesn't break the farm, it just makes it more efficient if you have a turtle egg there. You don't have to build the 4 portals on top and below, you could just have one level of 4 below, or you could have the 4 above, it's up to you. I just wanted to have the 8 portals to make it more efficient. If you didn't want to contain it into one chunk, you can always expand these portals sideways. So you can have them 23 high and 23 wide. You might have to mess with the water catchment area, but that would make it even more efficient. I specifically wanted it to be all contained in one chunk, but you can customize it to fit your world or your build. And all the items that come out of the trident killer, down through these chests and hoppers, into the item elevator. That goes up into the item sorter, where we can sort out all the gold and get rid of anything else that we don't want. It might be useful to have a few villagers around here. You know, the ones that use the brewing stand? Look like wizards. They'll buy rotten flesh off you and give you emeralds. Or if you don't want to save it, you can just push it straight through the disposal system, because you will get a lot of it. If you don't need it, burn it. Anyway, if you want to make it, this is what I've used. But you can build it out of any blocks you want, as long as you've got the portals and the redstone and the water. So the bottom water collection area needs to have at least 2 blocks high, so the piglins can fall down here and fit underneath the portals. And the water collection area needs to be shaped like this, so they don't get stuck in this little corner at the side of the water elevator. When they fall over this lip, this water source will push them this way, slip on the 2 ice, and they will want to pathfind to the turtle egg. And then we need 58 blocks of ice or water source if you want to do it the hard way. Going straight up, 58 blocks with a button above it and 1 more water source above that and a water source in the corner. This combination of buttons and water sources keep the piglins flowing towards the middle, so we can drop them into our kill chamber. These buttons are the 23rd block above the mud floor with the trident killer. Turn the farm on like this, and to turn off the farm, flick that switch again. But the trident killer will keep going because there's still pigs coming through the system. It takes a hot minute for them to all come through. So we don't want the trident killer going off yet. But once all the piglins have gone through the system, we can turn off the trident killer with this button. It doesn't have to be a target block. Can be any block as long as it activates this piston. The wooden buttons last a bit longer than those stone buttons, but it just has to long enough to break the circuit that's going round in this never-ending circle. We do that by just moving that block out the way for a second. And don't forget to put some tridents in your trident killer, otherwise it won't work. And that's how the gold farm works. It's very simple. This is another fortress themed. I've got a self-portrait here. I've contained the item sorter into what looks like a bit of a fortress effect. And I've covered up a lot of the redstone behind this with another fortress effect looking thing. But it's wired up the same. This is my favourite design. And let me tell you, this machine produces more gold than you can eat. Mostly because people can't eat a lot of gold. This is my next project. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Minecraft creations from yours truly, Mr. Drew P. Goodbye for now.